Hi folks, and welcome back to the Travels of Red Rover. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Corinne.
And this week we are on the scenic Mesa Highway.
Okay, the Mesa Scenic Byway.
The scenic Mesa Byway Highway. Anyway, we're having fun out here.
We're going to go see a couple waterfalls, maybe do some photography, and hopefully be able to share some nice photos with you.
So there are two waterfalls, or two parts of the same waterfall we're going to look at. The lower Mesa Falls and the upper Mesa Falls. We haven't been there before, and it should be interesting to see what they look like.
So we're going to scope them out and figure out what time of day is going to be best for photographing them. It may just be reconnaissance for our first visit, and then we may have to return when there's a little less sunshine.
And we are going to take you with us. So the lower falls is right behind us. It's a long way down. And the first thing that we noticed is, although it is very, very pretty, there are some very big pine trees growing up that sort of hide the falls. So if you're going to shoot from up here on the overview or overlook, you're going to need a long lens, and you're going to need to jockey around a little bit to find the right location.
The other thing is the waterfalls are mostly east facing, so you're going to get a lot of bright sunlight on them from the morning sun and most of the day. You could probably do it early morning before the sun gets up over the trees that are to the east of us.
But a better time might be later on in the afternoon, maybe right at sunset or during golden hour, may be the best time to shoot these falls.
The other thing, if you come up here, is that there is a campground right here called the Grandview Campground, and it's run by the U.S. Forest Service.
And it literally is walking distance from the overlook.
So perhaps we'll come back and do some photography here, but we're going to go check out the upper falls.
Yep, that's the next stop.
At the upper Mesa Falls, they have a beautiful visitor center. This year, because of COVID-19, most of the little displays have been moved outside so that people can enjoy a little bit of the information about the area.
There are a number of lovely walks leading away from the main building down towards the falls. And we spent some time just walking around and enjoying the falls on this beautiful day.
The upper Mesa Falls, which you can hear roaring here, are about a 10-story drop. There's lots of water coming over here, even in late summer. And this is the Henry Fork of the Snake River, not very far from the origin waters of the Snake River.
After visiting the upper falls, we took the Mesa Nature Trail down to the lower falls. The trail's about a mile long. It's very, very easy walking. We enjoyed the walk. However, we were a little disappointed because it's very difficult to actually see the lower falls from the trail. So just be aware of that before you take the trail down for this walk. Hi folks. Well, we're back at the overlook of the lower falls, and we've brought out some of the long lenses tonight to do some photography. We're out about half an hour or so, maybe 3/4 of an hour before sunset, and the sun hasn't actually set over the hills on the other side of the river. And we were going to wait until after the sun had gone down below the trees. We decided to come have a look just before then, and much to our surprise and delight, the sun is backlighting all of the pine trees down below us here, which makes them absolutely gorgeous foreground for the river. Now, pretty standard waterfall shot. We're using a polarizer to take some of the glare off, and tonight I'm taking off as much glare as I can because it's a very bright, but not a nice kind of bright glare on the water. I'm also using a 2-stop filter, ND filter, to slow down the shutter speed. I'm trying to get something in about the 0.8 second range because that makes the waterfall nice and milky and smooth, but doesn't completely take out the form of the waterfall. So you still see some detail in the waterfall, but nice milky white water going down the fall. So been playing with that for a little while, and so far pretty happy with the photographs. Now, the other thing I'm doing tonight is I'm shooting portrait mode, and primarily because the river is quite long coming into the waterfall, and there's a whole series of small rapids that zigzag down the river, which in an odd sort of way gives it a kind of an interesting line down into the river, and I'm hoping that that will actually enhance the photograph. Well, we're packing it in for the evening. The sun's gone down, and basically the light in the river area and the waterfall area has gotten pretty flat. So we are done for the night, and hopefully we'll be back out tomorrow morning to the upper falls. But first, here are a few of our favorite shots from the evening.
Walking from one of the middle observation decks over closer to the upper Mesa Falls, and one of the interesting facts about this waterfall is that there's 2.5 billion gallons of water that fall over the edge each day, and it's quite a lot of water. And what's interesting is this is one of the few remaining waterfalls that has not been interrupted by dams or other hydroelectric projects that would interrupt the flow. So that's pretty rare for this part of Idaho. A lot of the other waterfalls are not visible. We'll give you a look at the falls as we go down this deck. There's a lot of stairs here, but they also have a route that's wheelchair accessible, so if you have any mobility difficulties, you can still come down and enjoy the falls. Might get hard to hear me over the sound of the water here. This observation deck gets you really up close to the waterfalls. But it doesn't make for a very good location for doing photography. You can only see the top portion. And the other way is to look way down. It's about 10 stories high. One of the interesting facts that you can learn about at the visitor center here is that originally in the early 1900s, a gentleman got the land for $1.25 an acre and settled on it with his wife and their children. And he only wanted to settle on it long enough to acquire the patent, which was, I think, a little bit over 2 years. And then once he had that, he was transferring the land over to another gentleman who owned a power company, because I believe that the power company couldn't take up the land directly without it buying it from a homesteader first. Well, the power company went through various iterations of ownership and shareholders, and they kept thinking they'd put a hydroelectric dam on the falls. And they kept selling it to different companies. And finally, I believe it was Montana Power that considered doing a project on it. But by the time they costed it out in the 1950s, it wasn't very economical for them. So, long story short is eventually the power companies made a trade for land deal with the forest, and the Forest Service got this piece of land and the power company got some other lands that they sold off eventually.
So the sun's just coming up over the horizon now. Corinne's over on the other end of the platform shooting from there. I'm at the far end of the platform shooting from here, and the sun is just starting to peek in the trees up there, or at least brighten the trees at the top, and we're going to wait for it to come all the way down and hopefully give us a little rainbow in the waterfall.
Well, it's gotten to be a little bit later, and the sun is now lighting up the trees on the other side of the waterfall. We've been hoping it might generate a little bit of a rainbow down here at the base of the falls, but that might not happen till much later when the sun is fully lighting the waterfall. You can see how bright those trees are now lit, and that produces a bit of a problem when the waterfall is still very shadowed. So what we are doing is using our graduated neutral density filters, and I've got two stacked in here. One's a one stop and the other's a two stop. I can kind of stagger them a bit, and then what I do is I cover the trees with the neutral density filter dark edge, and the clear edge is on the waterfall side, so that it's not darkening the waterfall. You can see once that I've got the picture composed, I can pull up a histogram of the light and see how bright various areas are. The important thing is not to have your histogram too far to the right or too far to the left in that box that's there. Well, we're about done here at the upper Mesa Falls.
Had a great morning. Got here a little too early, but otherwise just a lovely time.
Yeah, we spent about 2 hours here. We really thought the sun was going to come up a little further to the south and come up the angle of the river, but it didn't do that, so we had to wait for the sun to rise up over a few trees here.
Yeah, we didn't get the a rainbow we hoped for, although Corinne might have captured one from another location that's higher up on the falls.
No, it wasn't there.
Oh dear. Well, we tried. Got some lovely photographs though. The falls, you know, slowly reveal themselves as the sun comes up over the horizon.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed coming along with us today on this trip by Mesa Falls.
We've really enjoyed having you. And if you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. And if you'd like to keep track of us, please subscribe.
If you hit the notification bell, you'll be notified when we post new videos.
And as always, we love hearing from you, so don't hesitate to leave a comment, a thought, or an idea below. We read them all and respond to most.
And thank you to our loyal subscribers. We appreciate your following our channel.
Yes, thank you. And as always, we really enjoy bringing you along on these trips, and we do really hope you enjoy them. So until next time, bye for now.
Bye for now.